you! It is so good to see you. Have you lost weight? You've totally been working out. Well, listen, since you're here, grab some Jell-O. That'll be funny later. And let's get a little weird. What do you say? If you haven't noticed already, we're going to start this tutorial actually with our hair. I'm going to show you fools how to make it look like half of your hair has been burnt off in a chemical fire by a mad scientist. Mwah. All I've done so far is change my part to be severely over toward one side, and then I'm using Vaseline to really slick down that hair so that it fits under the bald cap perfectly. Vaseline hands. Then securing the sleekness with a couple bobby pins. Next up, I'm grabbing the master of hotness, that is the latex bald cap. I'm going to cut a little piece off and put it where I want to cover my hair so that it looks like it's been burnt off. And then later in the tutorial, I'm going to pull a couple pieces of stringy hair to make it look extra creepy. Once my placement is where I want it to be, I'm going to secure that with some bobby pins as well. Using spirit gum, we're going to make sure this sticks to our face. When you're using spirit gum, you want to make sure that you put it directly onto the area that you want it to stick and tap it with your fingers, as that will oxidize the glue and make it tacky. No tappy, no tacky. I've already conjured up a batch of gelatin, which is what I'm going to use to make my skin look burned and chemically and gross. If you've never worked with gelatin before, I'll put the recipe down in my subject line below. It is wonderfully effective and disgustingly gross all at once. Suck it up, Buttercup, we got a Halloween tutorial to do. I wanted my mad scientist burn to be sort of a mixture between chemical and fire. Maybe like this wasn't even the first time he had scarred himself with his concoctions. I don't know why I'm calling him he, she, whatever. Anyway, dripping that gelatin down the latex bald cap and onto my face, my nose, later onto my lip. I'm also covering my brows with the gelatin. The drips seem to be the best way to get that chemical, almost like Deadpool kind of scarage. Because once it dries, it creates these perfect skin-melting cavity depressions in the burn. The more dry the gelatin gets, the harder it's going to be to work with, because it's going to start becoming almost like a plastic consistency. So you may have to reheat it in the microwave a couple times, just 8 seconds at a time, and stir, 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 you'll be fine. Then you're just going to keep on keeping on. Drip away until you get exactly the right burn coverage. Once you're done messing around with your drips, you're going to make sure that you set it with a translucent powder. For fun, I popped in my crazy Camo Eye red contact that I love, and of course grabbed my Kat Von D foundation to even out the skin tone of the burn. I added a drop of red food coloring in with my gelatin because I wanted it to look a little bit pink, like irritated flesh, but then I only want that to peek through, which is why I'm covering it with the foundation, so that I can take some away and it'll give it a little dimension. So I wet my brush here, and what I'm doing is just softly taking away some of that foundation to do exactly what I just said, just adding to the realism of the look. Using my Makeup Forever Flash palette, which is somehow covered in glitter. It never goes away. I am incorporating some reds and browns to add some more depth. I began using that stipple sponge at first, and then I hated my life, so I switched back to my brush. I wanted to be sure that I also got the area of my neck that wasn't covered with the gelatin. Obviously that would have been affected by the burn too, but maybe not as directly. So I did add some variation of color in a burn looking pattern there as well. Funny story, I have a real burn on my neck right there from a coffee accident when I was a toddler. No, I didn't drink the coffee. Yes, I did pour it all over my face and neck. So it was kind of fun to incorporate that into the look. A little leg up, or I guess chin up in this case. Using a smaller just paintbrush from the craft store, I'm going into the really deep parts and adding a dark brown, which will later be filled with kind of a green, toxic looking, unidentified pussiness, and then probably a little blood as well. I did struggle a little bit with what type of green texture and color I wanted to incorporate. Obviously this is sort of a fantasy chemical toxic burn that a mad scientist would inflict on himself with the crazy concoctions he's conjuring in his lab. Again with the he pronoun. I guess it really is supposed to be a he character. And my favorite combo ended up being Kat Von D's Metal Crush Shadow in Electric Warrior on top of a little bit of Vaseline. Then to make it look like the smoke went everywhere except for where my glasses were at the time of the explosion, I kind of cocked them to one side and then traced around them, and that's where the black is going to go. Now my little bananas, I promise to always be honest with you about products. These glasses were sent to me by a company who wanted to collaborate on a look. So I sent them my concept for the look, designed this entire Mad Hatter series basically around these glasses because I thought they looked like goggles that a mad scientist would use. I wanted to incorporate it with 31 Days of Halloween. After posting the look, the company decided that they wanted to disassociate completely with it, that it didn't represent their brand in a way that they were happy with, and that nobody would want to buy this product based on this look. Needless to say, as soon as they asked me to untag them in the photo and not mention them in the audio recording I had already finished, I was a little bit unhappy with this company. And I'm not telling you this to create any sort of drama or to get attention. I'm telling you this because I always want to be honest with you, and the truth is I love these glasses. I wear them all the time, and I would love to tell you where to go out and buy them, even if just to prove them wrong, but I cannot. The end of a very long and slightly boring story. You know what I would much rather talk about? Lips. Always. Duh. I'm going to outline and slightly fill in my lips with this electric green liner from NYX, cause Halloween. Then I'm going to use that same Kat Von D metallic shadow in that bright lime green, amazing color. I mixed a little bit of Mehron's mixing fluid with it so that it glided on my lips a little better, especially since they're super dry right now. Took down that hair that I had pinned back, and I'm going to take a couple pieces of hair and put them over that bald cap to hide the pieces that I didn't cover with makeup, and using a little Vaseline to make it look piecey and burnt and crispy and gross. When all is said and done, this is really going to add to the realism of the burnt look. At some point, I felt like the lips were a little too simple and it needed something extra, so I did add some more gelatin over my lip, and now I'm going in with Mehron's blood gel, which is amazing, filling in a couple of those little crevasses, making the wounds look deeper and more fresh. Which might very well be the grossest sentence I've ever said. You know, you guys are swell for sticking with me for the whole 7 minutes and 30 seconds of this tutorial. If you really want to make my Halloween dreams come true, give it a like, give it a subscribe if you like this mad scientist look. As always, the products are listed below. I so appreciate all of your love and support, and I hope you've enjoyed 31 days of Halloween. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Bye-bye.